Welcome back to my channel, my friends. Have you ever had the feeling of being stuck in your journey working towards your goal? And did that make you feel unmotivated or even made you quit the process altogether? Then this video is for you, because believe me, you're not alone. In this video, I would like to talk about something that seems very difficult for people. And I mean, not just related to training, but essentially any goal that you're working towards, which is seeing your own personal progress. Especially on days when energy levels are low, or when, for example, a training session did not go to plan, or your performance temporarily declines, even though you've been working hard towards your goal and put in the work. A journey can feel very stagnant. And sometimes these are the moments when we feel really stuck and that we have not made any progress at all. This is especially the case for goals that you're working towards which are long-term oriented and which show slow progress. The example that I'm using in this video is because it's related to a new goal that I have set for myself, but also to the videos that I have already published on this channel, is improving your endurance performance. It is very hard to grasp at times because progress is not very visible as compared to hypertrophy training, for example. And also, improvement is much slower than with many other goals that you set for yourself, as well as it's easily influenced by daily fluctuations and energy levels. Therefore, in this video, I would like to explore how we can make ourselves see the progress that we have actually made and be very realistic with it. I believe we all know that, especially with results from exercise, gratification is delayed. And it is that way for many other long-term goals in your life. You spend a lot of time working on your goals and working towards it until you maybe see the state that you want to be in at the very end of it. Therefore, the first thing that I find quite helpful, which is also step one, is tracking and collecting data on your journey, to be then able to visualize them in the future. Based on the goal that you have set for yourself and your journey, your data collection can come in many different shapes and forms. For the running progress example, you could collect your data with a fitness tracker such as a smartwatch. But it could also be an old school physical notebook where you put in things about your session. For the running example, maybe the distance and the pace, but you could also put additional data into it, such as your energy levels before, during and after the training, or how you felt, how your mood was, and whether your mood was affected by your training or not. Some people might not purely train for performance and maybe have an aesthetic goal that they are working towards. For that, for example, progress pictures that are at least some weeks apart could be a great thing to do as well and to collect over time. So what I want to say is, your data collection is yours only, and you need to think what your goals are and what metrics or data points you want to collect to be able to visualize your journey in the best way possible for yourself in the future. The second step that I find very important when you try to see your progress or feel the progress that you have made is your mindset. And that is before you look into any of the data that you have tracked or into any of the stats that you see, because you need to be prepared with your mind first to then be able to go into the visualization process and looking at what you have collected over time with a realistic view on it. Because it's important whenever we are working towards a goal, and especially when that's long term. I sound like a broken record at this point, probably, but it is so important to prepare yourself that progress is not linear. It more often looks like that, with little ups and downs. And especially these little downs are probably the moment where we feel like we are stuck or taking a step back. On top of preparing yourself to know that progress is not linear for humans, you also need to think about all the external factors that go into your journey as well, which could potentially make your journey look even more wavy than the picture that I have showed you. And that could be due to stressors such as a busy schedule, which leaves you with less spare time for working on your goal from time to time than you have had expected. For example, I had to take the last week off of training because for the first days of the week I was sick, and then afterwards when I got better, I had some assignments due and I did not want to sacrifice on the quality of my work or the quality of my training, and I knew that fitting both into the little time that I had left in the week would be very unrealistic for me. So I reduced the training and skipped 1 week of my training, even though I'm preparing for a marathon at the moment, and made it work that way for me. Will this make my progress look more wavy? Maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. But the important thing is that I don't beat myself up for it. I go into looking into the data prepared and knowing that weeks like this can happen, and this is important to do before you look at anything that you have tracked. Because even though I might have taken off a week of training, that does not mean that I'm not improving at all. At max, it could mean that I'm not improving as fast as I've planned originally, because I should not forget about all the weeks and months before that I've been training consistently and showing up for myself. So that was not all for nothing just because of 1 week. And also what I keep in mind for myself personally, for example, for the running goal is I'm no pro athlete. So my goals are mine only. And I'm doing that just for myself and just to make the journey be a bit more clear with an end goal and working towards it and making it essentially easier for me. So my goal should not make me feel bad about myself, because the reason for a goal is to make the journey feel visible and knowing what you are working towards very clearly. I think this step is essential and very important, especially before looking into the data, to get a clear viewpoint on what you've been doing and how realistic your goals are, and maybe how realistic the progress is that you are looking into, to not get the wrong impression and then be unsatisfied about what you see. And the third step, which I think is actually the key to seeing your progress, is to zoom out. The reason why we don't see the progress that we are actually making, or feeling stuck in a temporary downward trend of our progress curve, is because we are not seeing our journey in the bigger picture. We are just focusing on the one single day that we are seeing right now, which is not as good as maybe many of the other days, and which make you ultimately feel as you are a failure. Therefore, with the first step of collecting your data, you are now then able afterwards to zoom out properly and to actually get an external view on your own progress by seeing things on a bigger scale. The step of zooming out makes us feel motivated and even gives us a boost for these days when we are not feeling it as much, or we are unmotivated, energy levels are low, or performance is kind of off, because that can happen. We are humans, we are no machines. And knowing and visualizing the progress that you have made in the past already will then make you able to know deep inside of yourself that you're actually capable of improving, and that is just one day, which is not very important for the overall bigger picture. So as you saw in this video, progress has many different dimensions and can be seen and viewed from many, many different little perspectives. And it looks completely different based on the journey that you're on and obviously the goal that you've set for yourself. But by tracking, preparing your mindset, and zooming out, progress will become visible for you when you stick to working towards your goal. I hope that the strategies in this video for making yourself feel your own progress helped you in any way. In my videos, I always encourage you to try new things and to try new approaches and see whether it improves any aspects of your life and makes you feel better in any way. And I always mean that when I say it, everyday life. Because all that I want to provide in these videos are strategies and approaches that can help you create a life that will lead you into a happy and healthy future, and that you can sustain and enjoy along the way. Therefore, whatever goal I'm setting myself to in these videos, and even if they might be training focused, I still use them to improve my everyday life. Because for example, with the running thing, I have the feeling, which is just the qualitative own personal opinion and nothing that I have any data on that I can prove this to you, but it's just my personal feeling that I have built patience and resilience that I can transfer into my everyday life, and also gives me balance so that I'm able to put in effort and energy on the mentally very demanding days at uni or in my job. I hope that you enjoyed this little video, which was about how you can make yourself feel your progress. I'm super excited and also a little bit scared how my preparation phase for the marathon will look like. But I will definitely take you along with me and show you some bits and bobs and insights into how I'm training for that and how I'm preparing my body, but especially my mind, for being able to run such a long distance. And with that being said, I'd say stay curious, look after yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.